Hi, micro folks. This is nitrogen fixation part 2. By accident, I turned the recording off last time, so I now have the correct microphone on. So I hope you can hear me better. So, folks, we were just finishing talking about how the legumes, like our fava beans here, how they can carry out nitrogen fixation. The rhizobium, the bacterium performing the nitrogen fixation, are going to live in the cool root nodules of the plant, right? And so the rhizobium will convert the molecular nitrogen into usable ammonia that the plant can use. And then, folks, in addition, this is where we got cut off last time, neighboring plants like this little poppy, that when I dug up the fava bean, the little poppy was living nearby. Not only will the legume benefit, but plants that aren't legumes that live near the legume, they're going to benefit too, because that ammonia is going to be released into the soil. So the legumes can help their non-legume partners, right? The rhizobium can make excess ammonia so that neighboring plants can also benefit. So again, you guys, this is just so cool. All these bacteria, all these plants helping one another. So indeed, folks, we'll be talking about problems when farmers or gardeners are using excess artificial fertilizers. We can see that can cause big problems when, for example, nitrate fertilizers get washed into our waterways and then into our streams, our lakes, and the coastal waters. We're going to see that excess artificial fertilizer can help algae and cyanobacteria grow to large numbers, causing what's often referred to as a harmful algal bloom. And some of the algae and cyanobacteria can make toxins, which can be harmful to humans, to aquatic life, to marine mammals. And furthermore, you guys, after those harmful algal blooms, when the algae and cyanobacteria die, other microbes decompose them, using up all the oxygen. So then you end up with this dead zone where there's no oxygen, and most organisms, most aquatic life can't live anymore. So you guys, there's a big movement to try to get people, instead of using artificial fertilizers, to use legumes as green manure, they call it. And that's why I love to plant legumes in our garden. And indeed, you guys, this is a little squash or pumpkin that I'm growing. And so instead of adding artificial fertilizers, I just threw in some lentils. And lentils, you guys, if don't get split ones, they won't grow. But if you get whole lentils, they germinate so fast. It's just crazy. So what I'm hoping here, when I transplant this little squash or pumpkin into the soil, the lentils, hopefully they're colonized with the rhizobium. They'll continue to make usable nitrogen for the little squash, the little pumpkin here, and that way I won't have to use artificial fertilizers, right? So again, you guys, green manure. And again, we want to try to get away from using those artificial fertilizers, because they contribute to those potentially really horrible harmful algal blooms and contribute to dead zone, especially in our coastal waters. All right, and then, folks, in a separate video, what we're going to do, we're going to run an experiment, because I've always thought, well, if you're planting legumes, how do you know if the rhizobium are present, right? Because the rhizobium have to be present to colonize the legumes. So I just thought, for fun, you guys, will run an experiment. We'll take our legumes and we'll plant them in 3 different types of soil. One will be just sand, play sand, that I just got at the hardware store. Another one will be an organic potting soil. And then the third one, you guys, will be soil that I took from around this fava bean, because I know for sure that it's chock full of nitrogen fixing bacteria. And I thought we could just compare the growth rates and root nodule formation looking at the 3 different types of soil. Okay, so we'll set that up. And one more thing, you guys, I love going to a grocery outlet and the dollar store. That's where I get a lot of my scientific supplies. So you guys, this not little bag, this is a big bag of beans, and this cost me 99 cents. So if you just want to like experiment and play, you guys, or try planting legumes, if you're planting flowers or vegetables and you don't want to use artificial fertilizers, which are pretty doggone expensive, I think this is the way to go. All right, guys, so we'll finish that there, and then in another video we'll do our legume soil planting experiment. Okay, all righty then.